There's a crackle on the radio, a story to be told about banjos on the hillside and voices paved in gold. Got a cold glass bottle, drop some peanuts in the coat, and I'm sitting on the front porch hanging on every note. The Front Porch Podcast, singing times gone by, with fiddle strings and heartache and the reasons why. We keep this music living, never let it fade so fast. Raise a toast to the legends on the Front Porch Podcast.
Well, good evening to you, everybody. Welcome into the Front Porch. This is the Front Porch Podcast on the Country Music Time Machine. This is the place where we celebrate and relive great years of country music history. We tell the story of country music history, and right now we swat flies, mosquitoes, gnats, and wasps on the front porch. But I'm so happy to have you along here. I hope you're having a wonderful Saturday. If you're somewhere on the other side of the world, your Sunday morning is treating you well. My name is Kevin, and I do have a guest here beside me. I don't know what his name is, but he's dead, and it doesn't look like he's coming back anytime soon. Or maybe he was just on Ozempic. I don't really know. But welcome in. You know the deal, the rules here on the Front Porch Podcast. You have to chime in and let me know where you chimed in from. I like to read the comments, whether you're new. If you're new, we want to know where your name and where you're at. But if you're old like me and you've been in all these episodes like I've been in, chime in as well. I want to make sure you're there, make sure you're alive. You know, it's like a proof of life from you as well. So let's go down the list and see who's tuned in this evening. We've got Double DRR, Wisconsin. He's always in the house. We got Mr. J-Cat, and J-Cat helped me feature a very special part of this show tonight, and it's coming up at the end of the show. I want you to stand by for that, and you can thank old J-Cat for that, because he's the one who gave me the info, the inside super tip on that. So if you're watching, please chime in. Let me know where you're watching from, whether you're on Facebook or YouTube. Rita Harris. Good evening, Kevin. Hope you had a wonderful day. We were having a nice fall weather. Keep up the great work. Rita from New Jersey. Well, Rita, I think it got to about 80 degrees here today, but it's looking scary here in Middle Tennessee right now because I think we got a cold front coming in. It's supposed to get cold tonight, and storms are on the way. Hopefully this show will be done before I get electrocuted. Or it might be like an episode from 911 Nashville. It's one thing I'm going to be talking about coming up very soon right here on this podcast is about the new TV show filmed in Nashville called 911 Nashville. I'll tell you some good stuff and bad stuff about that show. Katie says, hey, y'all. J-Cat says volume needs to be raised. Let me do that, J-Cat. Hopefully I don't raise it too much. I don't want to blow your ears out or my ears out. J-Cat says, Ribbit from Portland, Oregon, you know our famous Portland frogs. All right, those Portland frogs in Oregon. We got Mike Lockhart. He says the show is really interesting to me. Mike, it is to me too, because we're going to cover a lot of different things tonight, because I'm going to be talking about what I call supposed country music. People always ask me, is this real country music? And I'm like, oh, Lord. You don't want to get me started on that. We're going to be talking about that. We're going to be talking about the show filmed down the road and sometimes in the neighborhood, 911 Nashville. Got 2 episodes of that so far. We're going to talk about that. And we're also going to we're going to end the show with some real country music. So make sure you stand by from that. I'm not waving at you. I'm just swatting flies or bugs. Thank you, Mike. We got Joshua John, our country music time machine historian, always tuned in and trying to keep me straight. He's up in upstate New York. Thank you so much, Joshua. Maria Brown says, good evening, Kevin. I love the podcast. Hope you're having a wonderful week. Watching from New Jersey. Bill Trickett. Bill is tuned in from Canada. Thank you, Canada. I love Canada. A lot of Canadian folks tune in, especially from Facebook. And I've mentioned this before. I hope next spring, when it thaws a little bit in Canada, to go up there and film an episode about country music history of Canada. I hope I do. I hope I find a good place to go. I don't know if I'm going to go to Calgary, Toronto, Montreal, or maybe to Newfoundland with my friends over there from the other YouTube channel, Scout Outdoors. If you like stuff from the outdoors and living off the grid, watch Scout Outdoors. They're really, really big. And Mike says, I'm just really a big country music fan. Well, Mike, if you are, I think you're going to like what we're going to be talking about tonight. Even though some of it is not all positive, it's going to be a lot about country music. That's why we're here. So let's go ahead and let me get my stuff ready here. I gotta back up on one of these little slides I've got because I was looking at Kristen Foreman, who's going to be singing for us tonight. I was looking at a picture of hers and it was up there. So let's add this here and start the Country Music Time Machine News Upway, where we run down all the news and what's going on in the world. And let's see what's going on. Let's say hey to Katie because she's up in Norfolk. Now I'm down in Tennessee. And speaking of Tennessee, the Vanderbilt Commodores won today and beat LSU. So for all you Louisiana fans, sorry about that, Vanderbilt has a good football team this year. First time since probably 1950. But their football team is good and their quarterback is incredible. So let's get into the news update. First off, a big shout out to the community members of the week. We got P. Smith. Leslie is doing great on the Country Music Time Machine. J. Hop is doing great as always. And D. Beverly. I don't know if D has ever been featured on here before, but this is just random according to YouTube. The biggest folks who are watching in on, what's going on. I see a comment from Bill. Newfoundland, St. John's, my hometown. Well, Bill, stand by, brother. I may need a couch to sleep on. We will see. I think that Scout Outdoors, that YouTube channel, they're on a little island, but I can't remember what the name of the island is. I should pay more attention. I love the show, but I should pay more attention to where they're actually coming from. But it's a great show. But a big shout out to the community members of the week. I wasn't here last week because I was hanging out with Aaron Tippin. I sure was. Aaron Tippin was in town, and when folks who really sing country music come to town, I love to hear them. So I'm going to play a little clip that I filmed on my little phone. As Aaron, it was chilly that night, but Aaron was having a good time. Take a look.
You gotta stand for something or you'll fall for anything. You got to be your own man. Gotta put feet on the string. Never compromise, that's right. To hold your family name. You gotta stand for something or you'll fall for anything.
Amen to that, Aaron Tippin. And folks, if you're new to country music, or if you're old to country music and somebody asks you, what is country music? Mention names like Aaron Tippin. That, folks, is country music. Something I play tonight is not country music, even though it's the #1 country tune on iTunes. Whatever the heck that means. But if you ever get a chance to see Aaron in your neighborhood, go see him. He's great. South Carolina fella. Love him, and I hope to see him again. Now, since I last talked to you, I took a trip, not like I usually do. I'm a former U.S. diplomat, just retired recently for all the new viewers out there. A former radio disc jockey at radio stations in Nashville before I started my 24-year career overseas with Uncle Sam. But I don't know. I'm going to get on a plane again at some time, I guess. But I got in the car or the truck, and I took the old Ford Maverick east to Knoxville, Tennessee, out to the Alcoa and Maryville area. As you can see on the screen here, I'm playing golf. I love playing golf. Gosh, I wish I was better. I wish the slice wasn't there. But I also stopped by Cracker Barrel. Yes, it was a depressing evening of dinner. I was alone. And as you can see there, the menu is bland and just not very entertaining. The food was bland and not very entertaining. And as you can see in the middle picture there, that is the, what do they call it? What do these kids call it now? Bougie? That's the bougie crap they got at Cracker Barrel now. I mean, I know ladies will probably like that, but let me tell you what I look for in the Cracker Barrel gift shop there in, I think it was Alcoa, where I ate that night. I looked for a U.S. flag. I couldn't find one. I looked for country music. I couldn't find one. There was a country song playing on the speaker. Guess what song it was? It was Beyonce's Texas Hold'em song. So, I mean, I was about to call 911 and say, please come save me from this place because it has been handed over to somebody else. I hope, Cracker Barrel went back on their deal about their sign. They're going to put old Uncle Herschel back on their sign, and they're going to make it more country because when they went away from the country, they lost a lot of money. Will that happen? I don't know if it will or not. Let's go back to the chat section, see what's going on over there, because I'd love to see what y'all are saying. We've got Daddy saying we have to stand with the military brats. Yeah, I'm a military brat. My daddy was an Army Korean War veteran, went over to the Air Force. I was born on an Air Force base, so you know where I got my patriotism from. Aaron Tippin, love that man, says Alan Sharon. Thank you, Alan Sharon, for tuning in over on Facebook. Mike says, I won the Odessa Talent Contest in August with 40-Hour Week by Alabama. That's a great song, and congrats to you, Mike. I'm going to have to come over and hear you sing. Katie also says, Mike, congrats. We've got Sharon Allen tuned in from Lothian, Maryland. I think I've actually been to Lothian. I know that Hagerstown, there is a storage facility in Hagerstown still holding hostage some of my stuff from my overseas travels with the State Department. So I hope to get that sometime soon. We've got another comment from Julian. I think you might need to work on your golfing skills, Kevin. I do. I really do. When you have to aim 45 degrees to the left to get the ball to land in the fairway, yeah, you got a problem. So if there's any golf pros out there with free lessons, because I'm poor, please let me know. All right, let's keep on rolling here because tonight at 6 or 6:30, Alabama plays Tennessee. And even though my daddy is from Alabama and played for the Crimson Tide, sorry, Daddy, I'm going to be rooting for Tennessee tonight because I'm in Tennessee. Now let's talk about a TV show. This TV show is called 911 Nashville. You see on the screen there, you see the fireman. That is Chris O'Donnell, if I can read it correctly. The last time I saw Chris O'Donnell, he was Robin on Batman and Robin, the movie. He's a good actor, handsome fella. He's aging like I am. Well, he's probably aging better. He's a lot more handsome than I am, but I've always liked him. He's a great actor. And I got a lot of friends who work on this TV show. It is filmed in and around Nashville. You'll see a lot of country scenes in there. And if you look behind me back here, it's sort of similar to what they have in 911 Nashville. But I want to play you a little snippet of a little bit of a promo of the show. And then I'm going to give you a breakdown on what I think about 911 Nashville.
Be a star, you gotta bang, bang, bang.
911, what's your emergency?
We love it, we hate it, we're all just trying to make it
Who the hell is that?
in this crazy town.
If you ever want to make a career shift, you let us know, because he's got talent. Right, Dad?
What are the odds?
You know each other?
This is your brother.
The universe put you where you are for a reason.
So what do you want me to do, Mama?
Go into that firehouse tomorrow and start sinking your hooks into them.
You get in with that Hart family and you will be set for life.
All right, here's the deal, folks. First off, let me talk about the positive. I like this show. It is entertaining. Is it realistic? I don't know about that. I mean, when you have a promo scene of downtown Nashville with a fireman and a twin tornadoes rolling through Nashville, throwing cars and human beings and cows and country bars all over the sky. I have a problem with that. Here's the deal. I know it's Hollywood and they got to make it fancy, but yes, we have tornadoes here and we're going to have storms tonight, strangely enough. But it is not as apocalyptic as they're showing on the show. There was a scene in the first episode where they show a little girl flying a kite, and she's doing that in Centennial Park, which is a park in Nashville with a big replica of the Parthenon in Greece. If you're ever in Nashville, you should go. It's a cool park. Well, the wind starts blowing high. The kite picks her up. I mean, this kite is like 3 feet big and starts flying her around the sky. And okay, that's a little weird. But one of my first issues was the first scene of the show. As you can see in this picture, Kane Brown is in the first episode of 911 Nashville. And Kane Brown, I love him. I think he can really sing a country song. What song did he begin 911 Nashville with? A rap song. Like, yeah. Even in the promo, they were talking about, this is country, 911 Nashville, bringing 911 to the country. Well, it was a little bit light on the country. It did show a lot of scenes downtown, and it did do a lot of that stuff. But the saving grace of 911 Nashville, she's a villain, but I love her, is Leanne Rimes. And the cool thing about that, her son in this TV show, who actually happens to be a male stripper, which, yeah, it gets crazy. His name in the show is Blue. That's not an accident. Leanne's biggest song, Blue. You remember that from the 90s? I think it's cool. She's a great actress. I've watched 2 episodes already. It is a little bit apocalyptic about tornadoes and things in Nashville, but it is entertaining. Please tune into it. You'll see some of the stuff in and around Nashville, and it'll give you a good insight. I hope they actually have some country music on 911 Nashville and not just rap songs, but we'll see what happens with that. But JCat and folks, just let me know how my mic is. I got to make sure that everything is okay. See what's going on the thing. And I know JCat. JCat says, gotta love Leanne Rimes. I know JCat loves Leanne Rimes because I do. Yeah, and Katie says the crap is fake. Yeah, it is fake. And partially fake, I understand. But, you know, you would think that there would be somebody, a technical expert from a paramedic, a real fireman, they would actually listen to and say, no, we don't have twin tornadoes in Nashville. And no, it doesn't toss cars down Broadway. And no, kids are not going to fly away because they flew their kite in Centennial Park. So, Katie, where you're coming from is right. But if you want an escape, it is entertaining. I hope the show lasts because Nashville, I would love for it to have the intention. Julian Santaguida says, did I hear the song The Chain by Fleetwood Mac in the clip? Yeah, you actually heard Fleetwood Mac and sort of Crazy Town from Jason Aldean, which was in the promo. I don't know if it was in the first episode or not. I think it was Big and Rich, a little bit of Big and Rich in the background, but more rap music, you know. And JCat says, it's not a documentary. Duh. It's not. It is entertaining, and I've got friends who are working hard on that show, and they're praying it'll work out so they can pay their bills, and I hope it does too. I hope it gets even better. But I was watching the promo from the other 911 show. I guess firemen are now doing rescues in outer space. TV is getting incredibly weird. And I hadn't watched a lot of TV when I was overseas, but I'm watching a little bit more now, and it's pretty strange. Let's take a look at some stats from the Country Music Time Machine. How we're doing on YouTube. We're doing good. 33,000, more than 33,000 subscribers. As I'm itching. I'm sure the skeleton doesn't itch. I'm itching because something bit me. We've uploaded 883 videos about country music history. Now you know what I've been doing with my time. And we've surpassed 7.7 million views on this great channel. And let's take a look at the Facebook page, Facebook, Instagram. We're kicking butt over there. 54 million views. That's just this year. And The interesting stat is watch time. You see over here on the far right, 10,126 days. I think that equals to, I don't know, somebody have to get a calculator. Is that 10 years of watch time? So altogether, the people of the world have been watching the Country Music Time Machine for 10 years. Incredible. And I've only aged 2 or 3. That's even better. And of course, over on Facebook, we got 167,000 followers. And Instagram, like 15,000 or something like that, so it's going well, and we're enjoying it. We're having a good time. All right, let's talk more about, hang on a second. Okay. All right, folks, I want y'all to tune in. Let me know, how is my audio? Mama, who is my technical director, just said she can hardly hear it. Is it because it's slow, or is it just in my ears? Just let us know. Just pop it in the chat there. That's the most important thing. But let's talk about Darius Rucker. And I feel for Darius, and I'm going to bring this up on the screen right now. He's pissed off like I am. He says, hey, y'all, I need to say this again because it keeps happening and it breaks my heart every time I hear it. If you think you've been messaging or chatting with me, my team, or my family, you haven't. It's not me. These are professional scammers pretending to be me to take advantage of you financially. Darius is pissed off, and I am too. And I know I talk about this a lot. I see it on my channel. I see it every day. People pretending to be people, or pretty-looking gals of 25 who are probably, 50-year-old people in a foreign country. They're probably not pretty gals who are trying to get guys to message them privately. If anyone ever asked you to message them privately on Facebook, block them, report them. I try to do it as much as I can, but as you can see, Darius Rucker is a victim of this too. Hang in there, Darius. I hope Facebook, it gets me angry. I hope Facebook will get off their asses and actually do something about these scammers. So far, they're not. I call them cockroaches, and so I don't like it. I'm going to go over here and do adjustments to the audio and see if it'll help it out a little bit. My problem with this, folks, is what I hear in my headset right now is not, I just moved it up a little bit, let me know if that's better, is not what is coming over the internet. So it's hard for me to judge sometimes what is actually happening, how the audio sounds. So let me know, pop in your comments now, see if the audio is better, because this is a one-man show, and, we have to go with what we got here. So J-Cat says it's better. J-Cat has good ears. He's a former radio dude like me, so I'll take J-Cat's thing on that. Just let me know if you ever hear the audio sounding bad, if deer are walking behind me, if my ex-wife is hunting me down, please just let me know, because I can't see anything behind me, and I can't hear the audio, not the audio that you're hearing. All right, let's keep rolling as we talk about comments of the week. And here is where I'm going to use a word called hijacked. In this sense, hijacked is when I put a video about country music history out there and it gets hijacked by freaks. Oh, maybe I shouldn't call them freaks. Maybe that's too hard. Maybe I should just call people who are just freaking nuts about politics. I uploaded a video, and I'm going to play this video. I'm going to make sure I got it here to play. Let me go over to the media section and see. Yeah, I've got this video. I'm going to play this video now. And then I'm going to talk about some of the comments that have come in. This video's got hundreds of thousands of views, but I want you to make sure you saw the video first. This is Johnny Cash talking about a night in his Nashville, in his house in Nashville in 1969, surrounded by music history. So watch this.
It was January 1969, and Bob Dylan was there. He was doing his
staying at your house.
Yeah. He was doing his Nashville Skyline album, and that's when we did a lot of things in the studio together. They've been bootlegging that lately, but anyway, Dylan was there, and Christopherson, and Joni Mitchell, and Graham Nash, and Shel Silverstein. And I was telling you that night in my house, the first time these songs were heard, Joni Mitchell sang Both Sides Now, Graham Nash sang Mary Cash Express, Shel Silverstein sang A Boy Named Sue, and Bob Dylan sang Lay Lady Lay, and Christopherson sang Me and Bobby McGee.
Good
It was
heavens.
the first time any of those songs were heard. That was that
Good
night.
heavens. Did you have snacks?
Some people love David Letterman. Some people don't like him. I thought that was funny, the snacks line. But anyway, it goes totally off the rails with comments. And I'm not going to read you these words because these words are words that I don't use. I hate them. I'm going to talk about them in a country song here in just a second. But Go 21 says somehow it turned political. And there was nothing political about the video itself. He says, eat a bag of blank, you MAGA blanks, you blank your feelings. Idiots sure get your feelings hurt easily. On the other side of the spectrum, Olsey says Letterman was awesome until he went hard left. Well, I thought Letterman was pretty good. I don't remember him hard left on the show. Maybe he was. I just don't remember good, but I thought he was funny. And Laura says, holy blank, I want a time machine to go back and crash that party. I think we all would. We all would love to be a fly on the wall. But it just gets on my nerves that people turn this crap into politics. And politics is really out of control, whether you're on the left or right side. People need to learn to use the word love more and the F word less, because all we are doing is fighting and hating each other, and it gets on my nerves. But I think one of the best comments came from Gary. Gary says, let's not make this political. Let's just enjoy the show and marvel at the collection of talent and songs sung. Incredible. I agree with you, Gary, and thank you so much for that comment. And let me bring up some comments here, because I have to read to the right and sort of watch the screen at the same time. Mike says, Katie, I love the way it turned out. WDRR says, oh, to be a fly on the wall of that. Yeah. I would love to be a fly on the wall with that. And J-Cat said he met David at the Indy 500. Yeah, David likes, his Indy cars now. He's got an IndyCar team, and they do pretty darn good. All right, I got a crazy comment about the song Crazy from Patsy Cline. And in case you didn't know it, Willie Nelson wrote that song, and his original title of it was Stupid. They said, no, that wouldn't work. We better go with Crazy. Always loved that little tidbit of country music history. But Christopher says, fact, this record is in every gangster social club jukebox in the Bronx, New York. I hope somebody can confirm that if you're in the Bronx, New York, watching now or watching when this gets played later. Is Crazy by Patsy Cline on the jukeboxes at every gangster social club in the Bronx? Wow. I thought that was funny, and dadgummit, as we say down south, that was interesting. All right, I released a good video this week, another country legend, the one and only country legend. Let me get back there and not screw it up. Ernest Tubb. Ernest Tubb is a good fellow. We love him. We love his music. And Candy says, E.T. is a favorite singer of mine. My favorite is Waltz Across Texas with You in My Arms. Yes, Candy, great song that you could dance to a lovely lady with or a handsome fellow with. They really don't make them like this anymore. They make them more songs, even country songs, filled with the F word, because that's apparently the only word that anybody really knows how to use. So go figure that. Also released more spooky country songs this past week, or was that the week before? I think it was the week before. And I love the episode. It was fun to do. Dragon Lady says, I would nominate Phantom 309 as the best spooky country song ever. Another favorite is The Ride by David Allan Coe. Both are great spooky songs, but I had a commenter say to me the other day, or comment on the channel or on the Facebook page the other day, or on Instagram. I can't remember where it was. He said that Phantom 309 was not spooky at all. I don't know. The ghost of a dead truck driver comes visit you while you're driving your truck. I think that would qualify as being spooky, And but Red Sovine is just, he doesn't get the credit he deserves. And is of all the artists I've really released on the Country Music Time Machine and talked about, Red Sovine is probably, he's up there with Johnny Cash, Alan Jackson, and George Jones as far as effect on listeners. People love Red Sovine. All right. If you remember last week, not this past week, but I think it was the week before last, I uploaded a story about Dolly Parton. Her sister asked for prayers for Under the Weather Country Queen. Now, let me tell you, it is a game out there. It's a battle on the internet, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, to get news out there. You see a lot of crap that's fake, and they're doing that just to sucker people in. But it is the battle to get news out there as quick as you can and as accurate as you can. And before I released the story about Dolly being sick, I double-checked in a few places and found out, yep, Dolly's sister did communicate that message. Well, well, well. 24 hours later, Dolly, who is just a fireball of a woman, releases a message. This is Dolly's proof of life video.
And I wanted you to know that I'm not dying. Did you see that AI picture of Reba and me? Oh, Lordy. I mean, they had Reba at my deathbed, and we both look like we need to be buried. But I thought, oh, my Lord. But if I was really dying, I don't think Reba would be the one at my deathbed. She might come visit me earlier. But anyway, there's just a lot of rumors flying around. But I figured if you heard it from me, you'd know that I was okay. So anyhow, that's what I wanted to say. And I'm not ready to die yet. I don't think God is through with me, and I ain't done working. So I love you for caring, and keep praying for me.
And oh man, we love Dolly. We love her with all our hearts, and let's hope she's around for a whole lot longer. You know, go back to the comment section. Mike says, Katie, don't forget to tune in to Opry Live, 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. Yeah, you can if you're not watching the Alabama-Tennessee game. I hope Opry Live has some country music on it tonight. Because the last time I was at the Opry, it was a tiny bit country. Yeah, a lot of good stuff popping over on the comment section. And Julian said, I didn't find this story scary. I loved it. And J-Cat says one word, Google. And yeah, R says, yeah, her sister did say under the weather, not terminal illness, disease, or dying. Now, I think that's a good clarification there, too, because I think the issue is when you ask people, especially Southern people like me, we ask for your prayers. That usually means something serious is going on. So that's what had the reaction so fast, and then that's what caused the scammers to get freaky and do their freaky stuff, too. All right. Yesterday, I had a friend of mine send me a video of the number one country song on iTunes Music, I think as it is. I'm not an iTunes music dude, but, you know. And she says, Kevin, what do you think about this? And I knew she did it to rile me up. And it did rile me up. So I'm going to play a part of this song in the reaction of me listening to this song video right now. And we're going to talk a little bit about it. Now I'm going to tell you why I don't like it, number one. It ain't country. So here's me. Oh, gosh, how do I explain this? This is real pain on my face. Trust me, folks. Hi, everybody. This is Kevin from the Country Music Time Machine. I got a question for you. Is this country music? Here is the number one country song on iTunes right now.
Raise your right hand, plead the fifth. Trying to cover up names on the list. Lying say that it doesn't exist. What the f***, trying to play
somebody save me from this world of people thinking that is country music. And no, I'm not addressing the politics of what that song is, because in real country music, politics does come up sometimes. And historically, it's come up not often. You know, the percentage, and Joshua Johns would have to get this percentages for me because I wouldn't know what it is, but it's tiny, but it does exist in country music history. But let me tell you why I don't like this song. Number one, it doesn't sound like Aaron Tippin, Alan Jackson, George Strait, Reba McEntire. It doesn't sound to me like traditional country music. It sounds sort of like the Backstreet Boys, hip hop, or whatever it is, and they're painting it some reason to be country. But the song itself does sort of squeeze into the lyrical realm of country music, sort of. Then it falls flat on its face. Let's go over a few of the lyrics here. The fella says, raise your right hand, plead the fifth, try not cover up names on the list. I've seen that. That must be a new freaking English word. Tryna. I think it means trying to. Tryna. I've seen it in other places too. So I guess that's a new word that people are using now. Tryna. Just say trying to, and work your lyrics around it. Trying to cover up names on the list. Lie and say that it doesn't exist. What the F kind of place am I in? Let me talk about the word F, the F word. I get so sick of hearing the same stupid word now in country music and hip hop over and over and over and over again. How would you like it if I said the word dadgummit every dadgum time I was dadgummit talking to you dadgum people on the dadgum internet? Would it say, you're a little strange, Kevin? I am a little strange, but I guess we don't respect the English language enough not to overuse a bad word. I'm sorry. I have used bad words before, but I intentionally avoid them because I'd rather use kind words. While this guy's using F this and F that in this song, we need more love in a song. We need the word love used more than the word F, the F word. But it goes on, and here's where it gets sort of country, and then it falls apart. He says, work 2 jobs, try to make rent. Heaven help you if you got brown skin. What in the heck is he referring to and talking about here? Is he trying to say people with brown skin are the only ones that are having to work 2 jobs and pay the rent? Well, fella, I know it's a connection to the next line, possibly, but I have 4 daughters. 3 of them are adults. They are busting their asses and trying to survive in this world, and they are half white skin and half brown skin. So I guess there's going to be no songs about half white and brown skin people. Poverty and toughness in economy does not paint one stroke to only a certain segment of people. It frickin' touches everybody. And it's tough for everybody right now. It doesn't really matter what color your skin is. And that's just the way it is. But he goes on to say, after he says, heaven help you if you got brown skin, watch them starve on Gaza Strip. What? What does that have to do about working a 40-hour week or 2 jobs trying to make ends meet? I know the political connection here is, well, maybe he's making this distant connection to, oh, we're having to work 2 jobs so we can fund the government who funds the wars. Well, folks, whether you like it or not, for the last probably 200 years, America has funded wars all over the globe. I have lived and worked in the Middle East before for the U.S. government. And in case you didn't know it, if you're talking about brown skin over there, there's brown skin in Israel, there's brown skin in Gaza, there's brown skin in Iraq, there's brown skin in Iran, there's brown skin in Jordan. So why is this knucklehead labeling it brown skin? I don't know. It's creative license, I guess, and that's just what happens. But the thing is, it is not a country song, but it is number one in the country music iTunes chart. And what that does is it affects real people. It affects people who are busting their asses in Nashville and in Texas and in Louisiana right now, trying to make a living making country music. They can't because people like this have, I used this word before, taken hostage country music. They have, just taken it over. And it's called country music. It should be predominantly country music. I've said this many times before. Country music, historically, has always had mixes of pop music in it. But historically, up until the 90s, it was a small percentage, but it was enjoyable. It was fun, and it was great. And even quite a lot of those folks respected the country music history and the theme of country music. Now that ain't the case. So, but the weird thing about that song, I do think that fella sounds a little bit like Jason Aldean, which is, try that in a small town. All right, let's keep on rolling. And in that song, that fella is talking about, and RRR says, nope, that one does not belong in the true country genre. Well, it's making lots of money right now in the true country genre, sadly. But one thing, as a mosquito bites me in the neck, that song and other parts of the lyrics sort of touch on is Christianity. And how Christianity, according to him, is negatively affecting the world or whatever. You could probably say that about any religion at any one time. It depends on who you're talking about, because not everybody in every religion are great people. But I got a beef to tell you about right now. I have tried so hard in the last few weeks to feature a good country Christian song on the Country Music Time Machine. And let me tell you what, it is one of the hardest things I've ever done. When we use music on the Country Music Time Machine or other channels or pages, we have to work with copyright. And most copyright will allow you to play the song, but they either get all the proceeds or they share the royalties of the advertisements that get played on your channel. Well, let me tell you, whoever is running the Christian music industry, it's like the mafia. I have tried to feature some great Christian artists, or mainly country artists that have been singing Christian songs, and they're just freaking totally banned. I mean, not just in Russia, but everywhere, saying you do not have the right to play this. Now, by playing this, and it's a Christian song, I thought the idea of Christianity, and as a Christian, I still believe that, but I'm playing devil's advocate here, is to get the word out, to spread the message of Christ. Well, it looks like they want a corner on the market, and they only want to make money from doing that. So they refuse other people to distribute their music. And that ain't the Christian way, as far as I'm concerned. That is the business way, and a hard business way. Just give you an idea. 10 Christian songs I uploaded, it was not allowed to be played. Only by them, wasn't allowed to be played. No revenue sharing, nothing, just blocked. I can upload Randy Travis, Alan Jackson, Garth Brooks, Reba McEntire. No issues. Over on the Pop Music Time Machine, I think my camera has went nuts on me, or it's the skeleton has taken over control. But over on the Pop Music Time Machine, I can play the Beatles, or Gracie can play the Beatles, and have no issues. But I can't play Christian music on this page. That's just hard for me to stomach sometimes. So I don't know if someone has some insight on that as to why the Christian music industry is so tight-fisted with their product. If you want to get the word out and make people's lives better, you should make a system where that can happen. As of right now, it's not happening. I'm still going to try to do it. I've got Sunday songs featured tomorrow. Not really a Christian song, really, on YouTube. I do have one on Facebook and Instagram coming up tomorrow. But tune into it. I hope I can continue to do it. But if that series ends, it's not because I wanted it to end. I love to feature great, songs on a Sunday. It's because the Christian music industry is, I think they're thinking more about dollars than they are about getting their product out there to touch people and change their lives. All right, good news coming out of the Grand Ole Opry. And a lot of folks will say, this took long enough. As you can see in this picture right here, this is Susie Boggess, Kathy Mattea, Connie Smith, Terry Clark, our wonderful friend from Canada, and Tricia Yearwood. 2 new members of the Grand Ole Opry, Kathy Mattea and Susie Boggess. And I'm going to play a video for you from the Opry. Kathy giving the honor to Susie Boggess.
Well, now I'm supposed to sing another chorus, but I have to say, as the newest member of the Grand Ole Opry, they have already given me my first job. On behalf of my friends, Tricia and Terry, and the entire Grand Ole Opry family, I get to say, Susie Boggess, you have the voice of an angel, you have a generous spirit, and you have a collection of work that is timeless. And I have one question for you, my dear, dear friend. Would you like to be the next member of the Grand Ole Opry?
And folks, if you remember Susie Boggess, she had some great hits in the 1990s. She does have the voice of an angel. There's no doubt about that. All those ladies there do. And great news for her. Great to see more great ladies become members of the Opry. Makes you wonder why it takes them so long to become members sometimes. I know part of that has to do with scheduling and, being in town and agreeing to the contract of the Opry where you have to do a lot of performances. But there's a lot of Opry folks out there that should be Opry members but are not. And let's hope to see more great ladies and great guys join the Opry real soon. And all right, a lot of things I've talked about tonight have been negative. But as I said before, I've had people ask me quite often, Kevin, do you think this is country music? And I'll say, absolutely not. Or, yeah, it's got flavors of country in there. Or I'll say, dang straight, that's country music. I don't use the F word, like other people do. But, I have stressed about it a lot on this channel and this page. And JCat and Joshua Johns as well has tried to calm me down and say, Kevin, you need to chill. You need to realize that even though it's not coming out of Nashville necessarily, there is still great country music out there being made, recorded, and played live. And I know it's true. I am still upset that Nashville has turned into a money-making, money grub machine, and they've done it at the cost of the country music genre. But there is still great country music out there. And JCat said, Kevin, I want you to listen to this. He sent me the link, and I said, whoa, that is great stuff. So to close out the show tonight, I'm going to close out with a song. This is from a great lady. I think she was born, grew up in Louisiana, spends a lot of time in Texas, but she's based out of Nashville. Her name is Kristen Foreman. And when you hear her angelic voice, there is no doubt that she is country. So folks, until next time, please, God bless you. Take it easy. I love you. And I leave you with a wonderful song from Kristen Foreman.
Well, there goes my chance. If I even have weak is strong. Tipping 20 till it's gone. While he's in a suit and tie, play me sad songs all night. Pedal steal me away, so I ain't the only one crying. You make me feel like I'm flying, and I need an escape. Pedal steal me away, slide me into a silver winged dream, 'cause he put a golden ring on her hand today. So please, pedal steal me away. Did he have any doubts when she walked down that aisle? It's all I can think about. That don't help me much now. Pedal steal me away, so I ain't the only one crying. You make me feel like I'm flying, and I need an escape. Pedal steal me away, slide me into a silver winged dream, 'cause he put a golden ring on her hand today. This is the only way I might feel okay. So please, pedal steal me away.
There's a crackle on the radio, a story to be told about banjos on the hillside and voices paved in gold. Got a cold glass bottle, drop some peanuts in the coat, and I'm sitting on the front porch hanging on every note. The Front Porch Podcast, singing times gone by, with fiddle strings and heartache and the reasons why. We keep this music living, never let it fade so fast. Raise a toast to the legends on the Front Porch Podcast.